So Ja Morant has lost his joy. He is not having fun playing with Memphis. He doesn't like the coaching. It's fun around. My name is Jordan. I know this channel is mostly for betting and sports bets and all that. But I figured every once in a while, I'm just gonna do some talking about some drama that's going on in the league and give my thoughts on it and get your thoughts on it as well. With the Sunday NBA slate, I don't really like NBA Sundays. They can be a little weird and crazy. So I want to talk about this Ja Morant situation because things are starting to heat up a little bit. He's not shooting very well. He's not playing very motivated in Memphis. I see a lot of Memphis fans say, well, he's the heart of the city. There's no way they would trade him or anything like that. But they said the same thing about Luka Doncic. I'm not saying he is Luka or on that level. At one point, you might have said, yeah, he has like the same star power. When he was jumping over people, like he was a highlight reel. But he is fallen off, and he has a lot of baggage to him with suspensions and all that. So I have a list of guys here who have recently done kind of the same thing. So Kyrie Irving did it with Cleveland. Of course, he ends up with the Nets. James Harden did it. He played with the Nets. Ben Simmons did it in Philly. He ended up with the Nets. It's kind of a theme there. Everyone just ends up at the Nets. And then Jimmy Butler, of course, last year lost his joy with the Heat and kind of just pouted until he got traded and ended up with the Warriors and was actually a decent fit with the Warriors. So now we have Ja Morant. I hear his trade value right now is pretty much nothing because of the way he's been playing. He still is very young, so a team might take a chance on him. It's just early in the year and teams are trying to figure things out. So I have a list of teams that are rumored to potentially make a trade for Ja Morant, and I'm going to go through them and kind of give my thoughts on them. So the first one that pops up, number one, is the Kings. They would pretty much be replacing De'Aaron Fox, who they just traded last year, and just a dynamic scorer at the point guard position. But I don't really think that moves the needle much. The Kings are like a team that is just a bunch of random guys, random scores that were all over the place. Some ended up with the Bulls, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Sabonis. Like the Kings that's not going to move the needle much for me. It would be fun to watch that team, and I think they could put up a lot of points, but that's not going to move the needle. This next one, the second one on the list, I think is very interesting. And if he got traded and like had fun and behaved and didn't pout or do anything like that, it could be a like legit move. I don't know what they would have to give up, but the Timberwolves came up as the second team on the list. So Mike Conley is 38 years old. They have Rob Dillingham that they drafted recently, who's not kind of ready to be that starting point guard. So you have a backcourt of Ja Morant and Anthony Edwards. That's kind of a dynamic backcourt. So I've always thought, Rudy Gobert is kind of in the way of that team, and like let Naj Reid cook. So maybe a trade, with Rudy Gobert. I don't know why, maybe just to get rid of Ja Morant and make things work, but and just give up some picks and everything. I think that lineup could really work. That would be very interesting. But of course, Ja Morant needs to show that he can play, much better basketball than he is playing right now. And the Timberwolves kind of need to figure things out because they've had some injuries, and a lot of teams are still trying to figure things out. This third team, I don't think it's going to happen because they're doing so well. It's the Rockets. So Fred VanVleet is probably going to be out for the year. If he was with the Rockets, they have their true point guard who can dish it all over the place. And I think they could probably find a point guard who can distribute if they really wanted to, that isn't as much, isn't as heavy as a name of like Ja Morant. So they're playing very well with Amen Thompson being at kind of like the point guard distributor type role, even though he's kind of a small forward, and then you have like Kevin Durant at your shooting guard. Like, it's a really big lineup, and they're able to play really good defense and limit rebounding, and they play really well together. Maybe a point guard could change the dynamic, but I don't think Ja Morant is that guy. I don't think that's a very good fit. The Heat came up, which I thought was ironic with the whole Jimmy Butler thing. They basically the argument for the Heat was the culture there could set him straight, but it's like you just had Jimmy Butler in that culture, so make it make sense. The Suns came up. I don't see that moving the needle much. And then the Nets were on there, of course. The Nets are just like, if you have a disgruntled player, send them over to the Nets, and they just want to sell some jerseys and lose games. So that would be interesting. I don't know what they'd have to give up if they gave up like Cam Thomas. But I wouldn't trade Cam Thomas. Well, I don't know. If you have like a good Ja Morant, then he can distribute the ball and he can score in bunches. Cam Thomas is more of just pure scorer, but that whole situation is just a mess in general. I don't know what they would get in return. But overall, what do you guys think with this situation? I doubt he's going to be there all year. He still has a couple years left on his contract. It could get to the point of the trade deadline where he's being suspended like Jimmy Butler was, and eventually they just settle on a deal to send him somewhere just to get him out of there, because it's just toxic for the locker room and the coaching and everything. But let me know your thoughts on the situation, if you even knew that this was going on. The Memphis Grizzlies rotation and everything has just been absolutely awful. You do not want to bet on their overs if you're in the betting world. So I think Timberwolves would be really interesting, and if that happened, could move the needle a little bit. But some of these other teams I don't think's gonna do much. Just gonna put them in a NBA purgatory like the Nets, where Kyrie, James Harden, and Ben Simmons all ended up. So next time I see another hot topic in the NBA, I'll just hop back on here and make a video for you guys. So it's final round. God bless you. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.